Hi, welcome to Prelude to Ulysses. Oh, no, I'm not. Just quit asking. Hey, welcome to Prelude to Ulysses. This is Alex Reads Littler Things, where we're going to be reading. I just woke up relax. Or are we reading? Oh my god, I'm so tired. Welcome to Prelude to Ulysses. This is Alex Reads Littler Things. Today we're going to be reading a selection out of You Better Be Lightning by Andrea Gibson. The selected passage is the next passage in order of the pages of this book. This is called The Gender. My gender is the undoing of gender. Let's take a minute to stir some coffee, though. We'll take a brief aside and discuss what's going on in my life. I gotta go to work. Ugh. What about you? What's your plan? Do you think this poem's gonna change your life? What if it does? My gender is man. Or I don't give a shit. Call me whatever you want. Nothing matters. Nothing's important. It's a long hair. Nothing is real. Maybe some things matter. Some things are important. What are you talking about? Not what I call myself, though. Not even to me, so. I'm not trying to make any sort of real statement. It's really fun to watch this. For my non-sighted viewers, I'm stirring instant coffee. Well, I do hope your day's going good. That's important. No one's watching. That's even better. That's all the more reason to compliment the 0 people. Okay, let's get to reading. It's been 4 minutes. My gender is the undoing of gender. I wrote it all right. I wasn't always the pansy I am now. I used to have a perm. You can tell. And no one on earth is tougher than a butch with a perm. Especially when wearing a backward baseball cap, mascara, and a muscle shirt. Wallet chain bouncing off my quadriceps? What's a quadriceps? Oh, it's your butt. Oh, it's your leg. Let's just keep reading and then talk about it. Muscle, military boots, and a look in my eye that said, give me a white flag and I'll use it for nothing but checking my oil and wiping my sweat. I drove a Z24 Chevy, the muffler built to sound like a motorcycle with a smoker's cough. I cried only in private and spent not a single second alone. My best friends were bar stools and jocks. My shoulder blade sharp as my tongue, which was in a perpetual state of fuck off. But the day I got my first buzz cut, something or everything changed. I looked in the mirror, and my tough relaxed. my body so at ease, my eyes could no longer hold the flood back. Mascara raced off my face to water my fist, which was no longer a fist, but a carnation in full bloom. Soon I traded my car for a bicycle with a basket, which I rode to the craft store to buy thread to stitch fabric from the clothes I was wearing into dolls I'd give as gifts. Too true to be believable, I know, but it is. At the bar, Budweiser in my hand, my pinky finger ballerinaed into the air. I looked like a princess sipping tea. About to chase my finger back inside, I sung, "Good God, Andrew, let that sweet Andrew, oh, let that sweet child run free." Andrew. It was the first time I'd said it out loud. And I'd say more now, but it's all quite simple. I became this me and could finally be the fairy I always was. I cut my hair and grew out my feelings. Instead, if someday I have a mustache, I know I'll be comfortable wearing a dress. And if I ever have a beard, I'm certain I'll be the prettiest girl I've ever been. That was good. I guess it's a poem about perception. How you want to be perceived, right? Versus who you really are. Or not necessarily being perceived, but needing a wall of defense. That first wall was an attitude and a car, I guess. I don't know what this Chevy thing is. Loud, obnoxious car. And a perm. But the perm, I don't know. This kind of puts people into boxes in a weird way. I don't really understand this poem. She gets more comfortable with her femininity? I know this is a thanks I'm cured moment, but I have a tendency to think of things in the way of just not just be happy with what you have, but make the best with what you have. I'm not someone who has put a lot of thought into my gender. So I'm not someone who really has a lot to say about that topic of calling myself different names. I was in a relationship once with a girl who we moved to a different place, to a different state. And we decided both to call ourselves a different name when we arrived in our location, right? So, they're animal names, of course, because we were like little hippie buttholes. And I was Owl. I didn't want to keep that up. Because it was a lie. It was something I felt. It's not who I am. I'm not Owl. Because it's just not the name I had. If I could choose a different name, I probably would. It would be Vernal Gooba. That's just the name I want. Vernal Gooba. I come from a long line of Goobas. And I just think that the name Vernal Gooba is the perfect name for me. But I'm not going to change it. Because I just thought about it last night and laughed myself silly. So, Vernal Gooba. It's my new band name. I'll spell it for you. You ready? Let's just write it down and see what it looks like. Vernal. That's actually an okay name for me. Gooba. The first. All right. This doesn't really apply to the situation. So, the more masculine her hair features, only hair features it seems to be, the more comfortable she becomes in herself, because her gender is the undoing of gender. Because gender doesn't matter. You can call me Allison. I don't give a fuck. Maybe I'd like that. I like emitting certain effeminate qualities, but that's because effeminate qualities are just being nice and sensitive, which is just not who I am. But it's who I would like to be. I'd like to be more nice and more sensitive. There's this mistaken concept of manliness involving mean, rough exteriors, smoking Marlboro cigarettes, beating your wife. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want a wife either. I don't want to own anything. Hi, sweetie pie. My best friend. Can you come here? But again, I feel like that's different. Well, maybe it's not. I don't live the life as a woman. I don't know what people expect of that exactly. Not these douchebag people. There are some jerks around. The Republican community's gone real hard against people who want to call themselves different names. And I have to hate every one of those people in order to love humanity. That's a bummer. Because these people are so against concepts of acting outside of a gender role, and I think gender roles are just worthless. Be who you want to be, every one of you. Except for Lotus, who wants to get on the floor. She wants to be a floor dog, but she's a lap dog. Right, baby? Oh, it's such a pretty girl. We can let you down. Okay, I'm sorry. Cats. But I don't have to do things like wear a dress or something. It doesn't really affect my... I don't think I want to. Maybe it's nice. Lots of air travel. Maybe I will wear a dress. I don't seem worth the money, though, honestly. I'd rather just wear super loose boxers and, like, a wife beater. Not even a wife beater. Just, muscle shirts. That's what's comfortable. But that's because I can be comfortable. That's because no one expects anything out of me. It doesn't seem like. It's kind of depressing. But I'm not dealing with the same things that other people deal with. Just not. I'm never going to know how Andrew Gibson felt. Well, I am telling tons of lies. I'm not like, no, I'm not really. Who are you lying to? I think I'm more depressed than I ever want to let on. So I put on a facade frequently of a happy-go-lucky bullshit when it's just not reflective of reality. Sometimes for years. That's not the same. That's similar. It's okay. Just because this is reflective of a hot button topic doesn't mean you can't try to relate in whatever ways you can. In fact, it's important. Do you want to be a girl, Alex? No. Well, I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to think about that type of stuff. My identity is not wrapped up. I don't know what my identity is. That's fun. It's good to have a little crisis in the middle of the morning. What time do you think it is? I'll be back in a second. Vernal Gooba, the king of the Gooba family. One of the first like memes I ever saw. I don't know, it wasn't a meme, it was like a screenshot of someone like writing something that they thought was funny. And it was someone who's like on a date, and they clearly forgot what the name of a vagina was. So they had it written on their hand, and it was like written like a script where like this girl's like, "Oh, I can't wait to touch you," or whatever. And he's like, "Yeah, I can't wait to get me some of that." And he reads his hand, and it just says Verguba. Verguba. It's what I remember. It's probably not accurate. And I was trying to think of it last night. That's why I said Vernal Gooba. I can't stop. That's the funniest thing I've ever. I don't know. I'm late to the internet game. I don't know. So, if you feel depressed, now and try to alleviate depression with, and it does kind of work, behaving as if you aren't depressed. It's very similar, I'd say. Probably even more insane. Probably takes even more effort. I used to date someone, and she told me that before we met, she was like planning tried to take her life. And I was, before I met her, and still while I met her, in an incredibly depressive state. Having some real major struggles. And instead of trying to be honest, I lied to her, and I told her I did not feel that way, and that I was happy, and that maybe I could help her, because maybe in that lie I could help myself. And of course, things just went terribly wrong, as all Full House style lies about your identity will go. Nah, I don't know. Like, it wasn't one of those where the truth came out and everything was fine. It was where I just held on to some stupid lie. I tried to be like a macho. Nothing bothered me, guy. That's not how it came out, though. I don't know if Andrew... She isn't telling herself lies, though. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. She was struggling for her external to match her internal. And the aesthetic has a function. It does, apparently. But also having just kind of a jerky attitude. Give me a white flag and I'll use it for nothing but checking my oil and wiping my sweat? Man, what a mean girl. Or guy. Fuck off. I don't know. I don't like that attitude. Mascara, carnation, bloom, bicycle. That's nice. I like bicycles. I gotta change my life. Good God, Andrew. Let that sweet child run free. Andrew, it was the first time I'd said it out loud. I became this me so I could finally be the fairy I always was. I cut my hair and grew out my feelings. I don't know. I really enjoy reading Andrew Gibson stuff. Doesn't usually hit me as deep necessarily. I don't know. Sounds the right word. I don't want to be insulting. There's a lot of surface value. She's a great explainer. To the point where I rarely have anything to say because it says I'm not reading between the lines. It is frank. I'm going to read this next poem because it's very short. It's called Spelling Bee Without Stinger. Spelling Bee Without Stinger. It says, I love myself is often spelled Goodbye. That's fun. Do you love yourself, Alex? Not lately. It's hard. No, I don't. So maybe time to say goodbye to some stuff, huh? Yeah, I guess so. I guess I could quit my job. I don't know, I could take some pills to grow a lot of hair out of my face and chest and move into the zoo. Someone could take care of me. That might be nice. I could tell people I'm an owl. Who? Goodbye. So if you love yourself, it's about shedding layers. Sometimes those layers are people. Phobias, anxiety-inducing phobias. There's this dude at work who has several times now called me just fat. And I've been putting on a lot of weight. I've been super fucking depressed. And it was super mean. And I told him that. And on Monday, he's fucking made some other fat joke at me. And I just got him next to him and I called him a fucking cunt. I think that's a gender neutral term. All right. I know that people don't like that term. But I have mostly called dudes it. And not like as an... It's probably not the right thing to say. But it felt right. He's being a total cunt, man. I was like, listen, you gotta be a fucking cunt every day. Which was a pretty crazy response. And I have barely talked to him since then. But it's like, what the fuck, man? Shed that motherfucker. He's been dropping N-bombs. I hate it when some fucking shitty white kid gets comfortable enough with me to start showing their racism. And it fucking happens, man. I hate it. I don't care if you think that it's cool to say that. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. It's not for me to say, but it probably isn't. Not the ways that you're saying it. Always degrading. Always shitty. Fuck people, man. Fuck Republicans. And that's not true. No, they're all fucking shitty, man. Everyone I meet, dude, turns out to have some disgusting views. And it's all the people in my fucking life. That's not true. Not my parents. How do you have friends? I don't even know how to, like, gee, I swear to God, I thought I met some person who I like talking to at work. And he just tells me he's a conservative. This is a gay dude with a husband. Conservatives want to remove the right for people to marry. I don't know. Such hateful fucking shitbags. Is that your crescendo? No one watches these. It doesn't matter. Goodbye.